Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So what I'm going to be talking to you about today is the Apod assignment. So we're just going to jump straight in. So what you need to do for the Apod assignment is there's like one document that I guess you really need to reference when you're thinking about doing the Apod assignment, and that is the assessment information document. So you can find the assessment information document in the course resources, assessment summary, forums section on Moodle, which is generally like where we put most of this information. So if you scroll down, what you'll notice is that, here we go, what you'll notice is that, here it is here. There'll be some sort of document here that says assessment information. So what you want to do is you want to open that up and really save it, because that's the thing that's going to be, the thing you're going to be referencing the most. So if we were to look at this document, what you'll find is all of the information relevant to the assessment. And I'm not going to go through all of this because really you can read this on your own time, and what I'm talking to you about today is just the Apod assignment anyway. So let's just jump into the Apod assignment. So in this document, you'll find the summary of assessment items and how they align to the learning outcomes. You'll also find things like what we say about the use of AI or artificial intelligence. One of the most popular, I guess, versions of AI is ChatGPT, which, for guidelines on how to use this in our course, it's all here in the assessment information document. We say that you can use ChatGPT, and in fact, if you're staring at a blank page, something like ChatGPT is really going to help you start filling in information. But if you are only submitting assessments to us that are completely ChatGPT written, they're not going to get great marks, really, because ChatGPT doesn't demonstrate knowledge in the amount of depth that we want to see from you, or something that's going to demonstrate your knowledge. So I wouldn't be relying on it, but it is a good starting point. Also referencing, ChatGPT does not do referencing at all, whereas we need you to reference, and we need you to reference in a specific style. So the style that we want you to reference in and where you can find good references and stuff, that's all in here as well. And this is important for the Apod assessment. So let's skip down to the astronomy picture of the day, or Apod assessment. So the whole idea with Apod is that you're going to create a written assessment that is in the format of your choice, that communicates astronomical concepts accurately and at an appropriate level for general audiences. So what does this mean? Basically, it means that you are going to have to create an assessment item, and what you decide to do is completely up to you. And we'll go into this in a second. And you have to pitch it to people that don't necessarily know anything about astronomy. So it could be like what you're coming into this course with. Don't really know much about astronomy, so you're pitching it to people maybe kind of like you. So how does this work? Well, the way that we have structured the assessment is that you are allocated multiple unique Apod images. So the thing with NASA is that they've published an astronomy picture of the day every day since mid-1995. So the cool thing is that there are thousands of these images. So let's actually skip to, I'm going to show you now. Let's have a look at an example of an astronomy picture of the day. So for example, this is from 25th of April, 2023. So Anzac Day, 2023. And you can see this is the picture that has been, that is NASA's picture of the day, Northern Lights over Southern Europe. And this is just absolutely just a beautiful photo. So this could be one of the photos that you get allocated for the assessment. And what you have to do with it is you need you get allocated multiples of these images and you just pick one to focus on for your assessment. And the cool thing about that is that you get to pick you get to pick an image and you can pursue something really cool, something that you're interested in. So also sometimes your images may be, your NASA Apod may be a video, so you just choose a frame from that video if that's what you want to do. But yeah, it's really cool. You get to pick what you do. Not only do you get to pick the picture that you do, but you get to pick the style that you want to submit the assignment in. So do you want to do a poster? Do you want to do an article, like something that you'd read out of, like Nature or New Scientists and stuff like that, or something like The Conversation, like a blog post type article? Do you want to do like a poem, for example? So really, there are so many things that you can do, and I'd recommend going on to Moodle and going into the Apod section, and you'll see that there's a section there. So let's have a quick look-see. So if we go to the Apod section and we expand it, what you'll notice is that there are past Apod student submissions. So have a look at that, because there are some really cool ones there, like pamphlets and brochures and all that sort of stuff. It's very cool. So you can do whatever you want. It just has to be written and it's individual, so no group work. There's strict upper limits, and you can find all of the upper limits in the assessment information document. Like I said, you can do whatever style you want, and the audience is the general public. So things that you need to include. Make sure you read this, because you have to include things like the image that you've selected. You need to refer to the image in your in your writing. You need to include at least one other researched image. That is completely up to you, but at least one other researched image that kind of matches the style of what you're picking. So, for example, if you're picking the Northern Lights, you might want to focus on, the Northern Lights over Southern Europe. You might want to focus on aurorae and how aurorae are made. And then one of your other pictures might be another picture that's a different type of aurorae, or you might want to pick, something else that's related to it. So you want to pick at least one other image. You need to make sure you're focusing on the science of the image. We get a lot of people that submit really detailed, information about space missions, for example. And they'll go into all the detail about the history of the space mission and all that sort of stuff. That stuff is great, but it's not covering the science of it. If you're covering a mission, for example, you want to cover the scientific goals of the mission and all of that sort of stuff, not necessarily give us a rundown on the instrumentation. You also have to include a recent result. So check the assessment information document, but you need to include a recent result from that's related, that has been published, that's got something to do with the topic that you've chosen. It doesn't have to be exactly on the image that you chose. So for example, a recent result for me might not be about the specific aurorae that I have that I've selected here, but it might be something to do with aurorae or something. So you need to look for a recent result. You need to reference in a specific style and no plagiarism. There's another video on Moodle about plagiarism. Okay, grading. So the Apod assessment grades are split into two groups. One is the plan, which is worth a small percentage, and the other is the final submission, which is worth most of the marks. So the plan is really, we don't give you much information about the plan because there's nothing really, like, the whole point of the plan is for you to just kind of let your tutor know what you're going to do. You need to include the image that you're going to write about, an example text of the style that you're going to write in, and kind of just really a broken down description of what you're going to talk about. So we don't want you, the whole point of the plan is we don't want you going down a specific path and submitting a draft, which is basically what your final version would be, and then your tutor go, oh no, you've kind of gone off on the wrong track. You really want to pitch your idea to them. And, you know, just a couple of pages, just make sure that they know what you're going to talk about. You can, of course, change. If your tutor gives you feedback and you're like, I just can't make this work, you can change, but your tutor doesn't have another look at a different plan. And then you submit your final version. So in terms of the marking, we're very detailed about, you know, the marking for the plan and for the final assessment. So make sure you're checking exactly what we're marking on. We tend to mark things like, is there a clear link between the focus of, do you clearly identify the focus of the assessment? Is there a clear link between the image that you've chosen and the focus of your assessment? Is your plan really well constructed? Is your sample text engaging? Note that we don't mark you against creativity, we mark you against engagement, because you might decide, I want to write a blog post or an article or an essay, and people might go, oh, that's boring, I'm going to get marked down. No, you can still write an essay in an engaging way. So make sure that you're doing that. And then we do a lot, there's a very clear guidelines on what we're marking you on in terms of the final Apod as well. So make sure that you're checking all of that. That's basically what the whole Apod assignment is about. It's giving you really free rein over what you want to do. So make sure that you're using that free rein and you're really enjoying yourself while you do this assignment. I hope you love it, because so many people before you have loved it, and it's just a really fun assessment. So work hard at it. I hope you find it fun. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to reading them.